All right, I'm going to say yes in Korean, and I want you to write in the comments which one you hear. Is it the first one or the second one? 네. 네. And now I'm going to say what in Korean. Which sound do you hear? 뭐. 뭐. So this is a very common question that we get from Korean learners from various levels. And the question is, why does 네 sound like 대 when I'm watching something with subtitles? I hear 대, but the subtitle says 네, right? And similarly, why does 뭐? I know it's 뭐, it's the word that means what. I learned it in a textbook, but why does it always sound like 보 to my ear? So that's the question. Let me explain why that is and why you need to actually pay more attention to the actual sounds of Hangul or the Korean language rather than relying on romanization. And if you're new to Hangul, if you don't know how to read Hangul yet, we have a book and a course. If you can read Hangul already, which many of you can, I know. If you want to improve your Korean pronunciation, we also have a book and a course. So why is it? The key conclusion is that Korean consonants have a shorter holding time, so to speak, before you open your mouth and vibrate your vocal cord. So they sound more abruptly articulated and more tightly articulated than you would expect, than many other sounds in many other languages. So therefore, many of the Korean sounds that you are going to try to read or understand when you hear sound more plosive. So, for example, the word for yes, which is 네, you are expecting, if you've been relying on romanization, right, as a beginner, which is natural, you are expecting sort of like NE. So you are picturing this sound in your head, 네, 네. Although technically speaking, the tongue position is a little bit different, but today we're focusing on the plosiveness of the Korean consonants. So you're expecting NE, 네, the building up part and then opening the mouth part and 네. But you hear 네. So it sounds like DE to you almost, which is a little more vibrated and aspirated. So it sounds like 대. But when you actually hear the Korean word, the Korean syllable 대, it sounds more like TE because Korean consonants have a tendency to be more tightly, abruptly articulated, pronounced all of a sudden, plosively, than many other sounds in other languages. Similarly, the word for what? 뭐, 뭐. In romanization, you read it as MWO. So you're expecting to hear more like 뭐, but you have to kind of cut the building up part, cut it in half or cut the first, I guess, 1/3 of it, and then just hear it from the middle. 뭐, 뭐. So you hear 뭐. It sounds like BWO to many untrained ears. So you think it sounds like 보, but then when you actually hear the Korean syllable 보, it sounds more like PWO, one step further down the road. So what are the key takeaways? Korean consonants are generally pronounced more abruptly and more tightly articulated, especially in the beginning, or mainly in the beginning. Therefore, your NE can sound like DE, your MWO can sound like BWO, and there's not as much holding time or like warming up time or building up time before the vowel sound. That's the main difference. So, how do you solve this problem? Learn Hangul as soon as possible. If you still have trouble after listening to a bunch of Korean, I guess, a lot of songs and watch a lot of shows, comparing these similar sounds that are pronounced in the same mouth shape, with the same tongue position, side by side will help a lot. 네, 대, 태, 대 like that, side by side. So you keep saying 대, 대 many times and then go back to 네. It sounds very soft all of a sudden. So less like DE. And 뭐, 보, 포, 보, if that's a word, that are also pronounced with the same tongue position and mouth shape. That's it for this video. And if you enjoyed this video and if you found this information really useful, please visit us on our website at talktomeinkorean.com. You will definitely not regret studying with us. So 한국어 공부 계속 재미있게 하시고 오늘도 함께 공부해 주셔서 감사합니다. Bye bye. See you next time.